Hello everyone and welcome to this week's ETX Capital Trading Success Zone video. This week I want to carry on from the video I did last week, which was an introduction to the precision moving average strategy. Now in last week's video I showed you two potential setups that I was looking at. One of them I decided not to trade for various reasons, and the other one I was going to watch and see if I got triggered into it. So I find it frustrating sometimes when people show setups and then they never show you the follow-up. So I'm always really keen to show people the follow-up to see what happens so you can learn from that. So the first one I was looking at was Intercontinental Hotels. You can see it here, and it was off the daily chart, and I was looking at this little red bar here. This red, it's red, but it's still a bullish rejection candle off these moving averages. Now off the daily chart, so you couldn't see all these bars here, obviously it was ending on this candlestick here. Now on this daily chart it looked good, everything looked good for a setup, but if you remember I said I wanted to go to the weekly chart just to confirm that I was trading with the overall trend and that I wasn't trading into any resistance, overhead resistance. Now you can see here I've still got my line drawn on the chart here where I've had come up to this resistance, and it was just on this green chart, it had just gone a little bit red by the time I was seeing it. So, and at the time I said, look, it is trading up into this resistance and it's overextended from these moving averages. So that was enough to keep me out of that trade. Because of those two factors, there was a high probability that that trade was going to roll over and pull back to these moving averages than it was to break through and continue up. So based on that, despite the fact that the daily chart looked good, I decided that I wasn't going to enter that setup if it triggered. And I'm glad I didn't. And it's always good to see when your technical analysis is proven right, as it was in this situation. And that's just one of the examples of the sorts of technical analysis we teach during the advanced ETX Capital trading workshops. So that was the first one. The second one was Autonomy. Now with Autonomy, the setup candle was this candle here. So it was a very bullish rejection candle off these moving averages. Now a very important part of trading, I believe, is to make sure that you're entering purely based off your trading plan. So I often find that when people are entering at the market, so they're just going in there and pressing buy or sell, they're doing it under an impulse, or they're doing it under a bit of an urge. They aren't really thinking about it, they aren't following some plan. I always trade by using stop orders or limit orders to always enter my trades, because that to me makes me think about my trade, makes me assess which way I think the trade's going, and then I base my orders on that. So in this instance, part of the rules for this strategy is that the high of your setup candle must be broken, and that's when you're getting in with a stop below the low. So I would have had a buy stop order in above this level with a stop below there. Now the fact that that never triggered and came down and hit this lower level first means I wouldn't have been entered into that. I would have cancelled that as soon as the low of this bar was broken. Now, so that means that trade wasn't triggered. I didn't enter that trade. And it's a good thing, because I would have been stopped out if I had. Now that is one good example of how why you shouldn't enter on impulse by entering at the market, and that you should have a set plan that you flawlessly execute time and time again. And that is exactly what you're going to get in the advanced course of ETX Capital, is that plan to go away and be able to trade time and time again. So just before I wrap up today, because hopefully that's given you some good insight to what I was looking at last week, how I sort of approached the market and what the result was. So just before I go, I just want to quickly show you the ETX Capital website and where you should go to check out the education offerings. So it's etxcapital.co.uk. Come along the top here on the homepage to education, click on education, and then it'll bring up a page with all the seminars and upcoming webinars. Now if you want to look at the advanced course, you can click here and it tells you all about the advanced course. And as I've mentioned before in previous videos, you must be a client or an account holder of ETX Capital to have access to that. So hopefully you got a lot out of that video today. I hope you have a great week trading, and I look forward to speaking to you again next week.